Hi guys, it's Goffy here and welcome to the channel. In today's video I want to talk to you about all of the good things about shooting Fuji cameras because I've been shooting them now for I think it's like 3 to 5 years at this point and I've been absolutely loving them. However, if you haven't seen it already, I have also released a video at the exact same time as this one talking about all of the things that I regret about switching to Fuji all them years ago. But I guess importantly, I still shoot Fuji cameras today, so the pros of this video outweigh the cons of the other one, but let's get started. First up then, for me, is the colours. I do think that Fujifilm straight out of camera files from a colour perspective look better than any of the other brands, and I guess my experience is predominantly Sony and Canon, and Leica as well. I've not really used Nikon, so I can't really comment on that. But out of those three, and Fuji for me is the one that has the nicest straight out of camera colours. And the other really good thing about Fuji cameras is the amount of options in there that you can change to tweak these JPEGs. Fuji themselves build in a whole bunch of different simulations, and they vary from like different film stocks through to black and white, and for many people, this is all they could ever need. There's actually like a big community that's built up around changing these settings to make it emulate different film stocks, which is also pretty cool. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well. They have a really good thing as well, even if you do want to edit your RAWs, you can select a lot of these simulations in Lightroom and in Capture One, and they give you these really good starting points for editing your files. And it's easy as somebody who's kind of like deep into photography to forget just how important for many casual shooters getting really good images straight out of their camera is. It can be super beneficial for the right person. Next up then has got to be the design and feel of these cameras. They are truly unique in many ways. A lot of them are themed after like a rangefinder style of camera, but have features like an optical hybrid viewfinder that genuinely makes them unique and stand out in the market. Other cameras like the X100V for example have a built-in ND, a leaf shutter and overall such a small compact package size while still having an array of manual controls. And manual controls is something that really stands out with Fuji as a brand. On most of their cameras you can set your shutter speed, ISO and aperture with the camera switched off because there is a physical dial for all of them. And for me personally, this is the biggest win for me. I really like these slightly quirky designed cameras because it actually makes me want to pick them up and use them. In a sea of just every mirrorless camera looking the same, these cameras truly do stand out. And then next up then, and I guess one that I often find myself a part of, is just the community around Fujifilm. It's definitely the best photography community that I've ever felt a part of. Generally, I find that people in the Fuji community tend to be very helpful and supportive of each other, and I see that down in my comments compared to some of the other videos that I've made on other manufacturers. The other thing as well is this kind of recipe ecosystem that's been built as well. There are some really good resources on the internet where you can tweak your JPEG settings to look like film stocks, and it just seems to have built up a massive community around it of people that are sharing their own settings, and you don't really get that in other areas of photography. And then finally for me, the other one is this whole like small and mighty aspect of these cameras. Now there are some advantages to a crop sensor, and first of all, one of them comes down to size. I know it's a little bit contradictory because I'm recording this on an XH2S, which is basically the same size as a mirrorless camera that's full frame, but most of the other cameras in the lineup are considerably smaller than their full frame counterparts. Cameras like the XE series and the XS are really small, compact cameras. And moving away from the cameras as well, the lenses are the other bit that tend to be far, far smaller. Again, a little bit contradictory saying it because I'm using the 16-55 f2.8 at the minute, but there's small, compact pancake lenses, and the f2 lineup are some really, really good lenses. The other advantage to having a crop sensor camera is often the reach of the lenses as well. Now the 70-300mm is one of my favourite lenses because it enables me to do wildlife photography whilst keeping an overall small package size. Having a full frame equivalent of 450mm that fits into a small shoulder bag means that it actually comes out with me on trips to take photos. In the past I used to have some really big Canon telephoto lenses that I just ended up not using because I could never be asked to lug them around. And due to the smaller design and build of these cameras, it means I actually want to use them as an everyday carry. And I've found over the last year or so, having an EDC camera is actually super beneficial to your photography. You just take a camera with you more often, therefore you take more pictures, and if you're taking more photos, the chances of you taking good ones just increases at the same time as well. Cameras like the X100V and the X Pro 2 are two examples of cameras that over different periods of time I've been using them essentially as an everyday carry. So there we have it then. That is the main reasons that I shoot Fujifilm. You've got the build and design of the cameras, you've got the colours of the camera, the fact that they're actually pretty close to full frame equivalent in terms of performance, they're much smaller as well, and the community that's been built up around Fujifilm. Like I said at the start of this video, I have also made a video talking about all of the things that I regret about switching to Fuji, so definitely check that out. But if you've watched this and you've got a Fuji camera, what was the thing that sold Fuji cameras for you? I'd love to know down in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Cheers!